Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope everybody is doing well and in good health. Today we are talking about inductive versus deductive approaches of research. As you know, in each and every research there are lots of steps, techniques and processes, okay? And there we also have inductive and deductive approaches. So simply, inductive and deductive both are the processes through which we are concluding about the research findings, okay? So first I'm just explaining what is inductive and then deductive and how we use it in our research. So the first we have inductive reasoning. So dear students, when we talk about a research which has inductive approach, it means it has inductive reasoning. So what is inductive reasoning, or it uses inductive reasoning in concluding about its results, okay? So you can say inductive reasoning, it is a type of logic in which the researcher concludes about something or establishes general proposition based on observed facts. Okay, dear students, in this concept, look, it is a type of logic. A logic, it means something, it is an argument through which we distinguish the right from wrong and the good from bad, okay? So you can see inductive reasoning is a type of reasoning, a type of logic in which the researcher concludes about something or establishes, okay, the researcher establishes general propositions. So this is really important, okay? So look here, establishes general proposition, okay, based on observed facts. Okay, so two things here, okay, dear students, I'm just simply explaining. We have like we have specific and then we have general. Look here, dear students, in this definition we have what the researcher concludes about something or establishes general proposition. So general proposition, what is general proposition? I'm just explaining it, okay, on observed facts. Okay, what is observed facts? So whenever, for example, based on something specific you have observed, you conclude something general, right? And that is what is called inductive reasoning. So let me explain it with example to make it more clear, okay? For example, here, just look here, or let me just make it even more simpler. We can say in other words, it's logic in which the researcher goes from specific to general, okay? So look here, you go from specific to general. How? Look here, for example, we have, you say every cat you have observed purrs, so all cats must purrs. Dear students, this is your specific observation, right? Every cat you have observed purrs. A number of cats you have observed and they were purring. What is purring? Whenever cats produces some soft, quiet sounds, okay? So you have observed some cats, right, and they were purring. So on the basis of your observation, you have concluded, you have learned, and you guess that all cats must purr. Why? Because this is what you have observed. So you have a specific observation, right? And based on your specific observation here, you're concluding something general. So in this concept or definition we have that researcher concludes about something or establishes general proposition. So this is general proposition, right, based on observed facts, and this is observed facts, okay? And this is exactly what we call it inductive reasoning, where You can also say it is a logic in which the researcher goes from specific to general. Okay, another example, dear students. For example, you say every time you eat peanuts, your throat swells up. Okay, and you can't breathe. So look, dear students, every time you eat peanuts, right, your throat swells up. Okay, here is a problem. When you eat peanuts, your throat swells up. So then you conclude about yourself. And what is the conclusion? So you conclude that you are allergic to peanuts, right? Now, dear students, this is your observation. You have observed that whenever you eat peanuts, right, so your throat swells up, and that is a problem. And so you have concluded out of this observation that you are allergic to peanuts. Okay, so this is observation, specific observation, and this is your general proposition, or you can say general statement about yourself, and this is your conclusion. So dear students, this is all about inductive reasoning. Another example related to a business. For example, you have measured the standard deviation of 3 companies right, in cement industry, and it has shown higher standard deviation. Therefore, you conclude that cement industry is risky. Okay, dear students, look here. You have measured the standard deviation. You know what is standard deviation? Standard deviation, whenever you try to compute the standard deviation from average. Okay, the volatility or the risk, simply the standard deviation in a stock market is used in order to compute the volatility or the risk. So you have picked 3 companies from the cement industry, and you have computed the standard deviation. It means the risk, and you found that the standard deviation or the risk was higher in those 3 companies, right? Now, on the basis of this observation, you have concluded that the cement industry is risky. Okay, this is your general proposition. This is your general statement about the cement industry. And where you have come up with, this is just from your observation of 3 companies. You have checked 3 companies, they had higher standard deviation. So dear students, in simple word, in inductive reasoning, we observe something specific, and based on those specific observation, we are concluding something general, right? So this is conclusion. Okay, in other words, dear students, in inductive reasoning, we try to develop theories. We try to develop some general proposition. Okay, we do something, we observe something, and finally we develop some theories. So all those researches, right, in which the theories are developed, right, finally they are actually research with inductive reasoning. Okay, with inductive process. Okay, now I'm just coming into the deductive reasoning. Okay, what is deductive reasoning? So it is a type of logic in which researcher concludes something specific based on general statement or theory. Okay, or you say it's a type of logic in which researcher goes from general to specific. Okay, dear students, in deductive reasoning we are opposite of inductive reasoning. In inductive reasoning we are just going from specific, right, based on a specific phenomena, we are just concluding something general, right? Based on a specific sample you have taken, you inferred something for general population or something general. but in deductive reasoning we are just going opposite of that. Okay, why? Because it is a type of logic in which researcher concludes something specific, right? Concludes about something specific. Okay, here they were concluding about something general, right? Here conclusion was something general based on specific, but here we are just concluding about something specific based on general, right? So about specific based on general statement or theory. Okay, let me explain it with example. For example, here we are going from general to specific. Okay, so here this is conclusion. Okay, just a minute. Okay, let me explain with example. For example, you say all dogs are mammal, right? Okay, what is mammals? All those animals, right? Female animals which feed their youngers or their babies, right, on milks. Okay, they are called mammals. So all dogs are mammals. Okay, then we say all mammals have kidneys. Okay, so all dogs have kidneys, and this is our conclusion. And now you know which kind of conclusion this is. Okay, this is the general theory. This is the general statement, right? And we are just using this general statement to conclude about something specific. We say all dogs are mammals. This is a theory. This is a truth. Okay, then we say all mammals have kidneys. This is also understood. Okay, now what is your specific conclusion based on this general arguments we have? You say all dogs have kidneys. Look, so we are just going from general to specific, from theory, the general theory, to conclude about something specific which is covered under this theory. Okay, another example we have like all just a minute. All men, we say all men are mortal. Okay, so this is general statement, this is general theory, right? And then we have Socrates is a man. Okay, Socrates is a man. And then we conclude, so Socrates, we call it Socrat, right, is mortal. So this is our specific conclusion. Look, dear students, all men are mortal, right? This is our general statement, right? And you know that the Socrates is a man. So once all men are mortal and the Socrates is a man, so obviously the Socrates is mortal. So the Socrates is mortal. This is a specific conclusion, something specific you have concluded about Socrates. And from where? From the general statement we have here. Okay, so whenever you just picked a theory or a general statement, and the basis of that statement you conclude something specific, right? Then that is called deductive reasoning. Okay, dear students, so keep in mind, if you try to conduct a research and there is no something all about in literature, if the literature is not available about that, or if there is no any general idea or general theory or general proposition, so you cannot conduct deductive type of research or deductive reasoning. Keep in mind, so deductive reasoning only work, right? It only works if there is a literature available, if there are theories, ideas, or if there are some general statements or general propositions. Okay, next, another example I'm just trying to talk about is all performers are highly proficient. Okay, so you can say Ahmad is high performer. Okay, so you conclude that Ahmad is highly proficient. Okay, so dear students, this is a general statement. You know that for example, a research already has been conducted, and it stated that all performers are highly proficient. Now you know that Ahmad is a high performer, so Ahmad is highly proficient, and you have concluded specifically about Ahmad out of this given general statement. Okay, so this is called, dear students, all about deductive reasoning. Now whenever we talk about research, how we can use both inductive and deductive reasoning in research. So I'm just giving you a simple example. Once again, the conclusion for the research, when we do the research, what is the conclusion? Okay. Okay, both inductive and deductive processes are used in research. You should know about it. Okay, how? For example, if you try to conduct a research with the process of inductive reasoning, right, it means there will be generally 3 steps you have to go through. Number 1, you have to start with observation, right, and collection of data. Okay, dear students, once again, when you try to conduct a research with which type of process, with inductive process, so it means you are not having any general theory, or you are not having any general hypothesis, right? Now you start something, you observe something, right, for which there is no any literature, and you collect the data on that. Okay, then out of the given data you try to infer, right, you inferred conclusion from the data, right? It means you start observation and you collect the data, and you analyze the data, right, and then you infer conclusion from the data, right? So when you infer conclusion, it means you develop theory. You develop what? Theory. So dear students, in our inductive reasoning or inductive type of research, we start and observe something. It means not on the basis of any theory, not on the basis of any statement, and then we try to collect data, right, and then we analyze it, and then based on those specific data you have worked on, right, you infer, right, conclusion, you say something, and finally out of that you develop a theory. So that the theory is just something which is stated in your conclusion. Okay, for example, I'm just giving you an example here. Have look, for example, you say like all biological life depends on I'm just giving another example. You say that you observed that low cost airline flight is delayed. Okay, several times you have observed that low cost airline that is delayed, that is not on time. Okay, so you have collected data on 20 flights, okay, from low cost airline. Okay, just airline. Okay, after the analysis, you found and developed the theory. Okay, you developed the theory. What is the theory? Low cost airlines always have delays. This is the theory. Okay, you have developed this theory, right? Okay, once again, look, you have observed that a low cost airline flight is delayed. Okay, several times you went, or you just checked, right, in several flights which were low cost, right, and they were delayed. So in order to make sure, you have further collected some data on 20 flights from low cost airline, and And then after the analysis you found that and developed the theory. And what was the theory? Low cost airlines always have delays. So dear students, keep in mind, look here, this is something general. You have concluded on the basis of something specific. What is that specific thing? Okay, you have noticed that all those low cost airline, right, they are delayed, and then you have made sure with a number of analysis, and you have taken 20 flights from low cost airline, and then you have analyzed and you found that yes, the 20 flight they were delayed, and then you have concluded that all low cost airline have always delayed. Okay, so this is just an example in researcher that first you start observation, like here you have observed, and then you collect the data as you have collected the data here, and then you analyze. Once you analyze, right, then you infer something and develop the theory. Like here you develop the theory that low cost airlines have delays. Okay, another example, let me give you in inductive. This was in sorry, for inductive reasoning. Okay, this was for what? Inductive reasoning. Inductive, sorry for this. Inductive. Okay, this is, let me just tell you about example for inductive reasoning in research. Okay, now we come into example for deductive reasoning. So dear students, in deductive reasoning, again there are main 3 steps we have. Okay, number 1, in deductive reasoning, we start with a theory. It's mean we must have a theory first, right? It's mean if there are no theories, then you cannot start with deductive reasoning or deductive type of research. So we start with the theory, and then we develop hypothesis or hypotheses if there are many hypotheses, right? And then we do the research, right, to prove. We do the research to prove the hypothesis. Okay, in inductive reasoning, we start with observation. It means there are no theories, and we directly do some analysis on a number of observation, right? And then finally we develop a theory. But in deductive reasoning, yes, we are not having theory. Sorry, we are just starting from a theory. First we must have a theory with us, right? And then on the basis of the theory, from the theory we are just developing hypothesis, means assumption, some statements we develop based on this theory, and then we are just checking it. Okay, like as I have given example here in deductive reasoning, for example, a theory must be given like this. Is a theory, this is general statement. So for this kind of deductive research method, we must start with a theory, and then we have to develop some hypothesis, and then we have to conduct a research to prove the hypothesis. Okay, so let me give you an example. For example, we say all biological life depends on water to exist. Okay, sorry, this is water. Okay, so this is theory. Okay, now what we say next, we have that all land mammals, for example, depend on water to exist. This is hypothesis. This is something we have developed based on this theory. Look, this is a theory, here is a theory. All biological life depends on water to exist. So whatever animals, whatever thing who is having a biological life, so they depend on water. It's mean out of the water they cannot exist. Okay, so this is a theory. Now we are just checking that the land mammals, whatever mammals we have on the lands, because they are also biological life, we check whether this general statement we have is true or not. Okay, for land mammal, so we we say all land mammals depend on water to exist. I'm just checking this hypothesis. This is my claim, and where I have taken this claim based on this general statement. Now what I'm just doing, we have to conduct a research to prove, right, this hypothesis. And for this, what we do next, we for example study all land mammals, okay, or land mammal species, right, and then to see if they depend on water or not. Okay, on water or not. So this is analysis, and within this analysis, once again, look, we start with the theory, we started the theory here. Okay, and on the basis of this theory we are just developing a hypothesis. So we have developed hypothesis here. Okay, and now we try to prove this hypothesis. Study all land mammal species. We study a number of, we just take a sample of number of mammals. So humans, so what comes in mammals, so you can say humans, dogs, right, dolphins, they are mammals. So just take a sample of one particular mammal, right, and then for example you say 100 mammals, right, and you check 100 different mammals, you check species, you check, right, and all of them, they were depending on water. Once you have got that all of them depended on water, your research, your analysis, right, then you are just concluding that yes, all biological depends on water. So it's mean your hypothesis is approved, right? So we can say yes, the analysis found, what you found, all land mammals depend on water, right? So you can say hypothesis, this hypothesis, what is this, approved. Okay, dear students, let me conclude it. We have deductive reasoning and we have inductive reasoning. In inductive reasoning, we start with something specific and then we conclude about something general, and it's mean we develop a theory, right? As you can see in this example, you observe the low-cost airline flight which are delayed, and then you have collected the data on that and you found something general and you developed a theory, right? But in deductive reasoning, we start with the theory. It means we must have a theory, and under that particular theory we just develop hypothesis, and then we try to either prove or disapprove these hypotheses with the help of research. For example, all biological life depends on water. This is a theory, and out of this theory you are just concluding, you are just developing a hypothesis, and then for this hypothesis you conduct a research. It means you study some land mammals, right, different mammal species, and then you do the analysis, and you found that all mammals indeed they were depending on the water. So it's mean your hypothesis approved here, and this is actually done through research. So dear students, this was all about the inductive and deductive approaches of research. So I hope you got it, and have a nice time. Wish you good luck.